Today I'll be showing you how I made this premium egusi soup, the Olowo Shibi type, the one that the Olobelu Loko makes. Please subscribe to my channel and also like this video. Let's get cooking, guys. Here I have the egusi. I also have Shaki, also known as cowtribe. I have the goat meat here, it's skinless, and some snails. I have the palm oil. Here I have stockfish and stockfish flakes. The Yorubas call this stockfish palauso. It has been soaked for almost 24 hours. This is what it looks like in its dry form, so it does require soaking in hot water. This locust beans right here is a very key ingredient. Please use it, do not skip it. I have my spinach here. I have some bouillon cubes, the beef and crayfish bouillon. I also have Bonga fish powder, the crayfish powder, some salt, and Cameroon pepper. So these are the peppers we're going to be using: habanero, paprika, and long bell peppers. These two onions right here would be used in 4 stages of the cooking process, so I'm just going to chop it up in the food processor. You can slice it if you want, but for the benefit of those that don't want to see onions in their soup, chopping it in the food processor makes it easy for you. I'm going to chop up the rest of the peppers as well. You can use a blender for this. Food processor does the job perfectly. Next, I'll start boiling the meat. I have the shaki, the snails, and stockfish in there. I just added some Cameroon pepper, salt, bouillon powder, and some of the blended onions. I added a bit of water. You don't need too much of water. We don't want the egusi to be too watery. I'm going to cover and allow that to cook. I already washed this spinach, so I'll just spin it dry and then go ahead and slice it up. I must tell you that the spinach is absolutely optional. It does so little to the taste or flavor of the soup. So if you don't have it handy, you can totally skip it. Your egusi soup will still taste nice. If you are using kale or ugu leaves, you can just chop this up in your food processor. But spinach is so fragile, it'll just puree in the food processor. That is why I'm going through the stress of slicing it up. Next, I'm going to check on my meat. It is ready to receive the goat's meat. This has been cooking on low heat, guys, for about 30 to 35 minutes. I'll add some more water, season it some more with the bouillon cube, add a bit more onions, and then give it a good mix. Once it is properly mixed up, I'm going to add the stockfish flakes, then I'll cover and allow it to cook. While that is cooking, I'll add some water to another cup, then add some of the chopped onions. You see the importance of chopping this up all at once in the food processor. You don't have to go and be chopping onions every minute. So I'll put the egusi inside a bowl, add some more of the onions. This is the 3rd time we are using this onion in this cooking process. I'll add a bit of water to the egusi. I'll give it a good mix until it becomes a dough-like foam. Once it comes together nicely, I'll add the onion water and then give it a mix until it becomes a paste. So this takes a while. You just have to be patient and be careful not to spill this on yourself. So after a while, can you see what we have? Our delicious egusi paste. Now I'm going to check on the meat. As you can see, it is done. I'm just going to give it a good mix and show you what it looks like. Then I'll take it off the heat and set it aside. I'll add some palm oil to the same pot we used to boil the onion water. Once it heats up a bit, I'm going to add the last of the onions from earlier, the chopped onions. So we use those onions in 4 stages of the cooking process. Then I'll add my locust beans. I'm going to stir fry this for about 2 minutes until the aroma comes out and hits me on every side. Next, I'm going to add the egusi paste. Guys, you want to scoop every bit of it out. War on waste, and egusi is expensive where I live. This particular stage of the cooking requires a bit of patience because you want to do this on low heat, especially if you're not using a non-stick pot. If you increase the heat to medium or high, it is going to stick to the pot and even burn. When it burns, your egusi soup will become bitter and you don't want that. After about 10 minutes on low heat, I'll lift the ones on the bottom up and then let the ones on the top go to the bottom. Then I'll let it sit for another 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, 20 minutes in total, I'll begin to stir it until everything comes together nicely. This is just perfect, so it's time to add the chopped peppers from earlier. At this point, it became obvious to me that I needed to change the pot. I mean, look at the quantity of those assortments, but I refused to listen to my inner voice. I wanted to do it by faith. I added a bit of water to the food processor and then poured it into the soup. Next, I'm just going to add the meat and the stock into the egusi soup. At this point, I changed the pot. Now I'm going to season this with some bouillon powder, the crayfish bouillon specifically. I'll add some salt, the crayfish powder, and the bonga fish powder. I'll give it a stir until everything is combined. Then I'll cover and allow it to cook. Guys, do you see why I called this premium earlier? It is giving everything it's supposed to give. After about 15 minutes, this is what we have. The oil is floating nicely, just as it should. This is already perfect as it is. The only reason I'm adding the spinach or whatever vegetable is for the added nutrients. But guys, can you see this? Super yummy already. This goes with a hot one. Now I'm just going to add the spinach and give it a mix. Guys, before you add the spinach, especially if you are using a cast iron or any heat retaining pot, go ahead and turn off the heat because it is already done. As soon as I mix it up, I'm going to take it off the heat. I don't want it to keep on cooking, and this is what we have, our premium egusi soup. If you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.